welcome to the Electric Gourmet. I'm Norma Schroeder and I'm your host. And what a treat we have in store for you today. Of course, I say that at every show because every show is different. But this one is really, really different because we've got a bunch of little dishes and everything, and we're going to do something completely different than we've ever done. So I want to introduce to you my guest, and it is Wendy Seligmann.
Nice to meet
Wendy.
you. Nice to see you, Norma.
Wendy is related to the fellow behind the camera there that you never see, who's with WCTV, and his name is John Schurman. And although their last names both begin with an S, they're not the same. They do share, though, a son, Spencer, who is in the audience, and a daughter, Logan, who's at summer school. And let's see, we have Dan Nakamura, and he's an Earlham College graduate, and he is Spencer's big brother
for the summer.
All right. So now with all of that, and I will tell you that if you want these recipes or any others, call 973-7200. I was almost had them call the city building. And you'll get a live person there, and preferably Mona. And if you want to come in on the website, it's rp-l.com. Now that little bit of housekeeping done, it is all yours. You're the star. You tell me what to do.
Okay, well, I'm going to put you to hard work today because today we're making sushi. Now, when I say sushi to you, what do you think of?
Raw fish.
Which is absolutely what most people think of. But sushi actually is a vinegared rice that is used to make all sorts of different dishes that as a whole we call sushi, but each one has its own particular name. So what we're going to start with today is making that sushi rice, or the vinegared rice. And I have an electric rice cooker here, but you can certainly make it on an electric stove. You don't have to use a rice cooker. What you do have to do is use short-grained rice. Japanese rice is short-grained versus the medium-grained. But you can find it in local grocery stores. But it does make a real difference. Now,
but anything that you're using here, Wendy, we can find.
You can
will tell us where. Okay.
Generally, in the grocery stores here in town, some of the larger grocery stores certainly have the short grain rice. Now, in Japan, you would have a beautiful wooden bowl to do this in because it helps to absorb the heat. I don't have that. But you want to wrap, let me close this so they can see your beautiful face.
Do you want this off of here?
We can do that.
Okay,
sure.
Well, go ahead, and I'll take this back over here.
What you want to do, Norma, is cool the rice while you're pouring on some of, this is a vinegar, sugar, and a little bit of salt mixture. And while that's right, you're going to work on your biceps today, maybe a little tricep work.
All right. Oh, and such a beautiful fan.
You don't want to mush the rice. You don't want to squish the grains, but you just want to kind of fold it, cut it.
Now, Wendy, you're not Japanese. How come we've got all this Japanese? Of course, I know all of that because I read with great interest your article about the 6 months that you and John were in Japan.
Okay, well, we were in Japan with Earlham College. Earlham has a number of off-campus study programs, Japan being one of them. And actually, Dan went on the same program the year before we led it, but we took 11 Earlham students to northern Japan. They live with host families. They take 2 courses from the instructor who's with them, and also then a Japanese course with a native speaker, who is not me. And they teach English in the Japanese junior high schools.
Oh my.
So they have many, many experiences. But even before that, my father was a foreign service officer, so I was actually born in Japan.
Oh my.
And lived there.
Well,
this would get a little boring, and your arm's going to get a little sore if we keep doing that.
I just have a question. If I wasn't here, how would you cool that rice?
You call John. 1-800-CALL-JOHN. We're going to put this to the side here and come back to it later.
Oh, these are all so interesting. I hope we can get a good shot of everything that's there. My, oh my.
Really need this anymore.
Okay.
But the first thing, so I have some sushi rice made up right here.
Okay.
And sushi rice is sticky. So this is a mixture of a little vinegar, just regular vinegar, and water that you can dip your hands into. And that way you get your hands from getting all sticky with rice. The first thing we're going to make is something called Inari Sushi. And Inari Sushi is a vinegared rice stuffed in little tofu pouches. Now, this is one thing that's hard to find in
Well,
Richmond.
that's what I was going to ask, is it?
And
Okay,
these
go
are
ahead.
deep fried.
Okay.
And then you simmer them in a mixture of soy sauce and a little rice wine. And they turn out looking like this.
All right.
Or you can cheat and find it in a can.
Oh.
So if you're really busy, and this is my son's favorite dish in the whole world. So when he's
my.
starving hungry, it's hard to start with this. We go straight to the can.
Okay.
So what
okay.
you want to do
Okay.
is stick your hand in a little bit of water and grab a little bit of rice. Now, I was nice to you, Norma, and I opened these pouches for you last night.
You're a dream.
I
love you.
am a nice person.
Okay.
And you just stuff it in here.
Okay.
Just like that, not too full. You got it? There you go.
All right.
And
well,
then
hello
you just like
there.
a little envelope, you fold it over,
Oh my.
and before you can put it on the plate, the sun is eating it already.
So it's already cooked and it's already
Already
ready for. Okay, and you stuff it on down in there,
Stuff
right?
it on in. They're a little delicate, so sometimes they rip, but they taste just the same when they rip. This is not a neat, clean cooking show. We're going to make a mess today.
Hey, we've always talked about this. Now, show me what to do here.
Okay, you want to just fold it over like this.
Okay, like an envelope.
You get
All right.
you have to do
Okay.
it twice.
Okay.
As my daughter's gymnastics coach says, once is an accident, twice you get it, then you begin to perfect it. So.
Well, I think really to be a good cook, you have to be a messy cook. I really do. I think you have to have somebody around who prepares all of those cute little dishes, and then you have to have somebody to clean it up.
That's right. That's 1-800-CALL-JOHN.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
So we just
We're
fold it
all
over
clean.
there, and we've already got the
Okay.
beginnings of a wonderful meal. You want to dip your little hands in there, and
Uh-huh.
then okay. We can
Now
put
those
that
are
out.
ready to eat,
Those
right?
are ready to eat. You can.
Get your hands off of them, Spencer. You can't have them. After the show. Okay.
That's right. More people should come and watch because they get a good meal here,
Oh,
don't
yes, yes.
you? You ready for the harder stuff?
Sure. Go
Okay.
ahead. Lay it on me.
Okay. This is a nice little mat that you roll. You've seen the sushi rolls, maybe pictures, restaurants. And as I said, sushi is not raw fish. It is a vinegared rice, and you can put almost anything you want in a sushi roll. What I have today is asparagus, and my daughter's favorite, which is avocado. You can put in spinach, egg. Here's the fake crab meat if you wanted a little bit of fish. Really anything you want. As a matter of fact, Americans have taken the Japanese norimaki, which are the thin rolls, and turned them into all sorts of things. You can now find smoked salmon and cream cheese, and it's the Philadelphia roll.
Well, you
So-
know, now you're reminding me of the roll-ups that are so popular
Exactly.
now.
Well, it's
So-
just the Japanese style
Yeah.
roll-up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I know when we were in Hawaii several years ago, we went on a little tour of the Big Island, and our driver, little Joe, stopped at a little sushi bar, and they were making seaweed. Is this what
That's
this
what
is?
it
Rolling it in
is.
seaweed.
And you put the shiny side down.
You don't want to know whether I liked it or not, do you?
We're going to have a great meal here today. It's absolutely delicious. And you take a nice little handful of rice, and you can see
Okay.
how sticky this is. So you're
Yes,
glad
it
to
is.
have. You're glad to have the.
But this is seaweed. Now,
That
can
is
you
it.
get
You
this
can get that
anyplace?
at a grocery store right here in town,
All right.
and it's very healthy for you.
Why is that rice so sticky?
From the vinegar.
Oh,
Vinegar
okay.
and sugar and salt. You mix. If we were doing this at home from the very beginning, I would have heated this vinegar, sugar, and salt till the sugar and salt dissolved, then let it cool before I poured it down.
Oh, okay. So
Now-
that's why the sticky rice. Okay.
That's right. But if we
Okay.
had to wait for it to cool, we'd be here for
Yeah.
a while.
Oh, I
Then you take a
understand.
little bit of the wasabi, which has become so popular. You can find wasabi mayonnaise, wasabi beer.
Look like guacamole.
It does, but it isn't. And then you
Wasabi.
take
Okay.
your asparagus
Asparagus.
here. Here, we're gonna make it a nice big
Boy,
fat
this
one
would,
here.
this would be neat
Kind
for
of
family
push it down
cooking,
in the
wouldn't
center
it?
here.
Do you, your kids?
Yes, as a matter of fact,
right.
when John and I, for years, for our anniversary, have gone out for sushi. When we were in Japan, we thought, wait, you don't go out for sushi in Japan. So we all tried to make it at home, and it was, well, we had rice all over the place, but it was good. This is kind of the harder part, which is actually
Yeah.
rolling it up. And take your little mat here and roll it up. Give it a nice little squeeze if you want. And there you go.
Yeah, and because the rice is sticky, then
And it all
it
holds
just kind of
together.
holds together.
And we have a cutting board here. We
Okay.
can stick it down on and we'll cut it later. But now it's your turn.
I'll be darned. Okay.
So we're going to put the shiny side down.
Shiny side down, and the bowl, and the rice. I'll get this underneath my fingernails. And we just put it all over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And the trick is not to put in so much that you can't actually roll it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, kind of a thin spread.
Mm-hmm. And it can be uneven. The hills and valleys, it all
Okay.
settles down when you roll
We're not
it
going
up.
to measure it and make sure that I've got it
No.
on right, huh? And that is thick, isn't it?
And the filling can be whatever you want it to be.
Well, I'm not a lover of asparagus, so and we've
Okay,
already
you can
done
put
that.
this, or you can
We've
put the
already done
avocado.
that, so we'll do something else. Okay. What do you think?
It looks great.
Yeah, sure it does.
Yes,
Okay.
stick your finger in a little wasabi
Now, what'd you say
there.
that is?
Wasabi. It's a green
What's it?
horseradish.
Oh, I love that. Just a
It's
little
very
bit.
spicy, so yeah,
Is
a
it?
little bit goes a
Okay.
long ways. It cleans out your sinuses quite well.
I bet.
You have a cook.
Oh yes.
Yeah, familiar?
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they have
Okay.
started using it, so you can grab your avocado there and just spread
Okay.
it along the middle.
And you want to get it in the center,
You're a good
right?
student, Norma.
Hey, listen, this is fun. I like to do this. Okay.
Okay. Now the fun begins.
Oh yeah.
Now you get to rock and roll.
Oh. Okay. Now we want
Okay, just kind of fold it over. There you go. And then kind of back it off a little bit and fold it.
to.
There you
okay,
go.
so
Perfect.
that you don't get it.
Like a jelly roll.
Okay, so
If
you
you ever
don't
made
get it
a
all.
jelly roll for dessert,
Yeah.
it's that same idea. Perfect. Norma's is
Voila.
absolutely gorgeous. Look at her. What a pro.
Thank you.
What a pro.
Okay.
Well, you ready for another challenge?
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
Let's do.
Now we're going to do one of those fat rolls. They're called futomaki versus norimaki. Futomaki.
Okay.
It's going to have multiple ingredients in it, and you kind of
Okay.
extend your nori sheet here by putting a little addendum on.
We're going to cut and paste.
We're
huh?
going to cut and paste. It's just like
All
like
right.
junior high, you
Oh
know.
my. Spencer, I bet you like to do this, don't you? All right.
He is a good cook, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact. He is. When I need help in the kitchen, he's my man.
Oh, that's
He's
great.
the one who comes to my rescue, and we made a fruited gazpacho together the other day, and
Oh, boy.
he did all the cutting of the fruit. And I trust him with a knife more than.
How about you, Dan? Are you good in the kitchen cooking this? You're better eating it? He's better eating it.
Okay, and we're going to kind of make some little indentations here so it sits nicely.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you typically, in a futomaki or a fat roll, put 6 to 8 ingredients. I picked 6 ingredients, and you want to think about the color, how they go together. You don't want to put all the greens next to each other.
So it'd be great to do like Christmas time and try to figure something out.
Yeah,
I need to do a little housekeeping, Wendy.
Sure.
Let's see, if you in the audience want to get the recipe, you can go to rp-l.com, which is RP&L's website, or you can call and get a real live person at 973-7200. And we'll get, this is really going to be fun.
Now, what we're putting in this roll, we have kind of an omelet that's been seasoned with a little bit of sugar,
Okay.
and then just asparagus that's just been blanched very briefly.
Okay.
This is one thing you can't get in Richmond, but it has a lovely taste. It's called campio, and it's a dried gourd strip that you simmer on the stove with soy sauce, a little bit of sugar. This is just asparagus that's been briefly, thrown in water. And then shiitake mushrooms that have become very, very popular.
Yes.
You can find
They
them
have.
fresh in the grocery store. You can find them dried again, simmered for a little while in a soy sauce and something called dashi, which is like a fish broth. But you could probably use just a vegetable broth. And then the imitation crab meat.
Crab meat,
So that's
okay.
my one little
The
piece
one little
of
piece of fish.
seafood there. And again, you're just going to roll it up. Now, one thing that was really fun when we were in Japan was that I thought certainly there's a secret to making this work better. And so I asked if some of the host mothers that our students were staying with could come over one day and teach me a little about sushi making, because clearly it was much more complicated than I knew, and if I learned the tricks of the trade, I'd be far better off.
Sure.
Well, it was the most hysterical morning we've ever spent. John shot some video of it. What I learned
Oh, did he
is,
really?
it's just like in America. Not every American woman or man cooks, everything,
Yeah.
hamburgers perfectly. Not every Japanese woman knows how to
Right.
make sushi.
Right.
And I learned that there weren't any special tricks I didn't know. So you're doing just fine there.
Well, good.
You are doing just
Okay,
fine.
all right. We're going to cut and
Okay,
paste,
okay. You ready to cut and paste? You
Yep.
want me to do that for you?
Yeah, please.
And then you
That
can.
looks a little bit, we need a pro to do that so that we can get it together.
So,
But you say we can get this, where would you get this in the grocery?
in the Asian food section,
Asian
for
food
example, at Myers.
Yeah,
They have
okay.
nori, they have shiitake mushrooms.
Okay, good.
So, all
Now,
right, off
we
you
need-
go to do your futomaki.
Okay, we need rice on there.
So each of these kind of sushi have their own little special names. You have the Inari Sushi, which are the pouches, and Norimaki, which are the thin rolls that we made, and then this is futomaki. What people mostly think of as sushi, which are the pieces of fish with pieces of rice with the raw fish, is called nigiri sushi.
Okay.
And then if you just have raw fish like on a bed of rice, it's sashimi. So the raw fish is actually called sashimi, not sushi.
I think what we had was with fish, and then we had, that was yellow. There were carrots, would they put?
Carrots.
Do they
and
have?
You can have carrots.
Yeah.
Really, people are putting almost anything
Okay.
in sushi now or in the rice nowadays.
Okay, Wendy.
All right.
Are we ready?
Okay, you can choose whatever order you want.
Oh,
You can just
well.
have fun with it.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll put the fish first. That's a pretty, but seriously, you could, forgot to do the dent, didn't I?
I think you're okay, though.
But you could, for the holidays, put your different colors in there.
And people who are caviar lovers could put caviar in.
Aha, all right. I've never tasted caviar.
I'm just going to step up
Just
around
one of
here
these
and
days
turn
I
up.
may do that before I kick off. Okay, and these are the Pataki mushrooms. And this is the spinach.
And then you want to fold that over, just this,
Oh, okay.
like that, so it'll fit.
I don't like the looks of that one.
All right, have fun.
Okay.
My futomaki fell apart here, so you're going to have to do much better than me.
It slides.
Easy as pie. Make it right at home, right?
Right.
Yeah, you make it like an old pro.
Sure, that like you do pie dough. If you can make a pie, you can make sushi.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah, close enough. Close enough. Your
Oh.
friends will love you anyway.
All right.
It's beautiful.
All right. We'll
Now,
hide that sort of.
If rolling all this stuff feels like just way too much trouble, okay, it's like, this lady's crazy. I'm not going to roll all this stuff. You have another alternative. And this is
Oh,
called,
that's right. We talked about that.
this is called chirashi sushi, or scattered sushi. And you can take your rice, like that, and just spread it out in the bowl. This is the same, you know, vinegared rice is the basis for it all. You can scatter that out. Quick meal at home. And then I have all sorts of, some of the same things we put in our futomaki. And you can grab a bowl and you just scatter it.
You're going to mix all of it in there. Is
Or
that
just,
right? I mean,
there are two
some of it-
things you can eat. Chirashi is you scatter it on top.
Okay. What's
Um,
this?
This is egg that's
Okay.
been sliced into real
Oh,
little strips.
okay, okay.
Why don't you grab a bowl there? Let's see what's in
Okay.
it. Okay, we have some asparagus. You can just sprinkle it on. Some of the shiitake mushrooms.
Okay. Oh, that looks pretty.
And this is easy, you know, you don't have to mess with rolling, and you can get very much the same kind of flavors. We have some carrot there,
Okay.
and here's some of
All
the
right.
crab meat.
Isn't
And it's
that
pretty colors.
Excuse me. Isn't that
Now
pretty?
you can have gomoku sushi, which is where you fold it all in,
I'm glad I
and
don't
you
have to
kind of
spell
mix
all
it
this
all
stuff.
up. Here, why don't you hand me that little bowl, since you don't like the looks of the campio, and you can do the spinach.
Okay. I don't mind the spinach. I love spinach.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to get kids to eat the spinach. You know, with
Yes,
the
it
Inari
is.
sushi too, you can take some of these same tidbits
Mm-hmm.
and put it in the rice and then stuff your pouches.
Oh,
so you could sneak
yes.
some spinach or some carrots in for
That,
kids.
that would be the easiest way to do it.
And there you have. You can sprinkle some sesame seed on here. Sometimes I cut up some seaweed and sprinkle it in, and just make a pretty topping. And you've got your little serving dish here. And we have chirashi
All right.
sushi.
I like that.
So now that we have a few minutes here,
Okay.
why don't we cut up a couple of our rolls.
Now you say this is just vinegar and water, or
Vinegar and water. And it's nice to put a cloth in, some vinegar and water,
Okay.
and it makes it a little easier. We're going to just chop the end off here. And then, so it doesn't stick.
Okay.
And just cut up your pieces
Yes.
here. And I have some little plates down there. We can put
Oh yes.
some of these on, our masterpieces. We can have our little tail sticking up here of our asparagus. There we go.
Now we're looking at serving and all these beautiful dishes and the glassware and everything. You have a big collection of this, Wendy?
Not a big collection, but a bit of a collection, and I'd love to go back to Japan and collect some more.
You hear that, John?
So
But it's so the serving here
half
is
the beauty of dishes in Japan. Look at our pretty futomaki. Didn't we do a nice job?
yes, that really looks nice.
So,
Okay.
Now-
All right.
oftentimes with sushi, you wouldn't necessarily just have sushi. Very often you have a soup or something like that in Japan with a meal. And I'm making a very simple, what's called a miso soup.
Oh, okay.
And there's water in
Okay.
there with a little bit, it's a little bit of fish broth. And you can get miso, I think at the Erlen Co-op, you can also get it,
okay.
out
Yeah.
of town.
Yeah.
But a tablespoon of the miso for every cup.
So if you really wanted to be serious about this, you would do some good
Right.
shopping and would know. You could even go online and figure out
You
where
can
it
find
was.
a lot
Yeah.
of things
Mhm.
online,
Okay.
actually. But the point is, there's a lot we've made today that you wouldn't have to even go out of town for.
Okay, well, good. That's
Yeah.
important, I think. We can't use things that we can't
Get easily.
get easily.
And
Okay.
Japanese put a lot of different things in miso soup. Sometimes you have clams, spinach. You just want to break up the paste a little bit. And I'm going to turn it down a little because once you add the miso, you don't really want it to boil.
Wendy, how much difference is there in Japanese, Chinese It's
All the Asian
Oriental,
cookings are
Asian.
really different.
Are they?
They
Okay,
really are.
okay.
With Japanese, it's a lot, well, of course, all Asian, a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, but you really don't do stir frying in Japanese food.
Oh, okay.
A lot of cold little dishes, pickled kinds of things.
Now what's that?
That's tofu.
Tofu,
And there are
okay.
lots of
I
different
should've
kinds
known
of
that.
tofu. There's firm and there's soft. I'm using kind of the silken, I think, in soup is nice.
Okay.
And then some scallions.
Yes.
But you could put spinach, you could put,
Oh boy, that's beginning to look like soup.
and often if you were at a Japanese table, that would be served to you with a pretty lid on it.
Oh, we'll turn that around. Isn't
So-
that beautiful?
And before a meal, you would say, itadakimasu, or kind
The
of like,
same to you.
itadakimasu.
What does that
and
mean? Just
Direct translation is hard, but kind of please enjoy this meal.
Okay, very
and
good.
in Japan, you don't use a spoon, you just slurp out of
oh,
the
my
bowl.
husband would love that. Mm.
And then you might use your chopsticks, your hashi.
Good, good. It really is. I don't know what I'd have
So-
done if it hadn't been good.
Hard to fake it,
Oh,
huh? So we made
yeah,
a
it
little bit of
really
a mess
is.
here with some sticky rice, but we showed
Well,
you how
that's
to
all
make
right.
several different dishes that you can easily make in your own
Yes.
home.
And would we then serve this just like that and try to get a little bit of everything there?
Right,
Okay,
and
all
you
right.
have often served sushi with some pickled ginger,
Oh, okay.
and
okay, very
you
good.
might put some soy sauce and
that's
some wasabi
beautiful.
in a little bowl and dip your
Okay. And what is this green stuff again?
wasabi.
Wasabi, the one I like with the horseradish. I'm gonna remember that.
And you
Wendy,
can find that right
thank
downtown.
you very, very
You're
much. I
welcome.
really
I
enjoyed
enjoyed it.
this. It's really been great.
So,
You
bon
can come-
appetit.
You can come back anytime.
Thank you.
You are watching Whitewater Community Television, Cable 21.